Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Urban Hermit Podcast. Cameron Jones here, along with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
We just missed Ground Hogs Day. Did anybody follow to see the results?
He didn't see it, I don't think.
He didn't see it, and that means
we're good.
Spring is only 6 months away.
Hypothetically, could be the opposite of what I just
6
said,
weeks.
too. I have no idea. Weeks for sure. That one I know. We're weeks away from something.
It seems like if he sees his shadow, the sun is stronger, out longer, closer to spring, right? That seems like the sensible thing to me. But he's scared of his shadow, and he goes back because it's going to be cold.
Why do we give Punxsutawney Phil the right to tell us when? Like, the meteorologists have to be just furious.
I have the answer to it. It's day drinking. I've seen the festival. If you lived in that community, you'd go to it. You pop a couple tops, sip some suds.
Where does it
take
take place?
Fuck yeah, we got
Punxsutawney in
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania somewhere.
Okay.
Funny enough, I did look it up today. It's a German tradition, and there are a lot of people, angry scientists, saying we have better ways of forecasting this. But
but listen to this, scientist. You don't have any more fun ways.
Which is...
Give me a funner way. Give me one more fun way, you dipshits. You stupid scientists. We're pro-science, right? But we're also pro-fun.
Yeah.
Pro-fun.
Which was
maybe anti-groundhog.
Well, I think I'm fine with them. I've rarely seen one.
If I had to be pro or anti-groundhog, I guess anti.
Does he live in a tree? Where does he live? Where do they store him?
In the ground.
In the ground. Yeah, that would.
This one, I think, lives in a mansion in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
or like the equivalent of a groundhog mansion.
He lives a better life than we do.
And that was the summary from the committee for the Punxsutawney Groundhog Festival of we know this is fun. We're having fun. It was essentially the response.
Would you go to it?
Yeah, of course.
If you were ever in the community? Yeah.
Do you think there's a lot of people doing like Bill? Do you think there's like a Bill Murray-ish like experience of like a restaurant
in this day and age?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Just checking.
I don't know if they shot there, but I bet there's a lot of people dressed up like Bill Murray there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
Now,
that's what I was wondering.
Now, these pilgrimy looking folk that come out and sort of run this whole tradition. Mm-hmm. Is that how they lead their lives, or are they just that's the dentist, that's the mayor? He always does this.
It's like definitely not a full-time position if that's what you're asking. Yeah, it's like your dentist. This is no, it's not their lives, but it is. You know what I mean? It's
so
like,
Phil's taker's not going to like get coffee with Phil.
They are, but it's for press. It's for press
wardrobe.
The real question is, like, how many Phils have there been? How long do they keep one riding? I assume it lives as much as they can a well-kept life.
For some reason, I bet a groundhog's life expectancy is a long time. I don't know.
I'm going to guess like 15 years seems about right.
I saw this. I remember being at one zoo and reading the plaque, outside of one of the exhibits, and it's like XYZ could live for 40 years, but in the wild it's a 2-year average because they get eaten. But like at the zoo they live forever because nobody's trying to eat them.
That's like a happy thing to hear because I feel like it's usually the opposite of like these whales live to 12, but in the wild they'd live to 80.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well,
the whales get
real. The whales get real trapped.
Yeah. They're
Have I brought this up to you guys before that? Anytime, because we all believe that whales are intelligent and they communicate and all that, right?
Right.
Do you think that anytime we save a beach whale, we're preventing a suicide? Because if they're so smart, I feel like they know what they're doing.
Possibly. I can't remember if it's whales or elephants, but one of them supposedly has a religion or at least ceremonies based around the moon phases. I think it's elephants.
It might be, but I feel like I've heard one of the big boys.
That sounds like the scientists that jerked off the dolphins. It's like you're reading into that a lot.
Now listen to this, Cameron. This is sort of the opposite of your whale in captivity theory. They live live longer. Groundhogs in captivity, reportedly up to 14 years.
I said around 15.
In wild, groundhogs can live only up to 6, with 2 or 3 being the average. 2 years? That's tough.
Are we just really throwing in, though, like being massacred by mole traps and foxes and like...
Well, I also think there's a large capacity of getting hit by vehicles that really fuck it up.
Okay, you ever seen a groundhog? think I have.
Yeah, our
In
backyard.
the wild,
Either
no,
a
I don't
beaver,
believe
maybe.
so.
I've seen their aftermath. We grew
I've seen
up.
a beaver in the wild once.
I've seen a few
It was
beavers.
Jarring.
We grew up in the country, so we had a big backyard, and there were a lot of mole holes and issues with them. But I'm not sure if I ever saw the culprit himself.
Wait,
No, I don't
hold
think we've
on
seen
here.
Groundhogs are bigger.
I typed in how many Puxatawny Phils have there been.
Oh, just a million, I'm sure.
Uh-oh.
There's only been
Give it to me.
one Punxsutawney Phil. He's been making
but
predictions
they're just
since
in this.
1886. Punxsutawney Phil gets his longevity from drinking the elixir of life, a secret recipe.
Oh,
See, you
Phil
reading
takes one
Cameron's
sip
article.
every summer at the Groundhog picnic and magically gives him 7 more years of life.
well,
What a bunch of crock of shit.
Why would
So does he drink it every year and he's just tripling up, or does he wait like till year 7?
That's what I'm.
I gotta get another.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
wondering. Why wouldn't it be he gets another year of life? He can just go there
Yeah.
and be like, take a few big gulps, and it's like, well, that's 140.
Yeah, he says every summer he's wasting the elixir. He could be preserving,
At
rationing.
this point,
the
I would
elixir.
assume that Punxsutawney Phil's like, please kill me. Don't give me the elixir. I've
My
lived
teeth
long
are
enough.
rotting.
Oh well, one got dropped by a mayor a few years back. What was that?
You guys may see my shadow, but it's nothing but shadow all day, every day for Punxsutawney Phil.
Legitimately,
So he's an immortal groundhog. Interesting.
over the past
Nope,
decade, he's
nope,
been
nope,
correct
he's got an
4
elixir.
times.
He's been
That's
what?
4 and 6. He's inaccurate, is what that
well,
tells
yeah,
me.
I think that's what the scientists were mad about. Yeah.
I'm going to pivot to the Groundhog movie scenario. How many skills do you actually think your real self, given the exact same scenario, are picking up? They always depict they learn another language. They learn the piano, something like that.
Yeah, I think you'd cut to me and be like, huh, that was The Sopranos. Like 2 months later, like, huh, that's all The Office. It's just I would just be watching TV.
Yeah, if it was in today's day and age, you would just watch a lot of content because it's all available. In the 80s, it might be a little
A
different.
little
I don't
harder.
know.
I mean, nowadays I would just stay in my hotel room, and if the TV's not good enough, I'd probably have my laptop with me if I'm on the go, and I'd stream
If
things.
death
yeah.
wasn't an option, I would try every drug and really mix it up.
I mean, he kind of
You'd get sick of everything, though, I suppose.
does that at one point when he's like going wild, driving in the car and stuff. With is it John Candy? I can't remember the drunk he picks up.
No, it's the it's the neighbor from The Burbs. John Candy, for sure. I forget the actor's name.
It'll
but you
come
guys
to
know
me
what we're talking
later.
about.
His name's Art in the movie.
Yeah.
Donna Dukamen.
Rick
Dukamen.
Dukamen.
Oh, Rick Dukamen.
Mark with the
Which you're like,
win.
oh, don't I know him from more movies? No, I think he passed away young.
Spaceballs. You know him most recently, probably last from the Scary Movie
Took our
franchise.
clothes. Yeah, they beat the shit out of us too.
He was the dad in Scary Movie.
Have you seen Palm Springs? I think we talked about it probably last year. This time, it's like Groundhog Day, but with Andy Samberg. Death is an option there, so drugs
I'm
all you
not
want.
sure I have seen that actually.
No, you can die, but you just reset. Like you die and die again. It's the same thing. But what's interesting about that one that I thought about recently is 3 characters get put in the Groundhog Day situation. That's kind of the horse of a different color, right? Mm-hmm. Because Phil's going it on by himself, or Bill Murray's character is all by himself. It's kind of fun to have a couple characters.
Yeah,
I guess
experience it with you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't learn another language though. I still wouldn't. I mean, I've been alive as long as I have, and I haven't even scratched the surface or come close.
The plausible one is you could probably find a piano somewhere and learn piano. Most of the other instruments are probably just going to be hard to every day locate, pick up, and like get a lesson going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess with like YouTube, like we could find tutorials for anything, but like the time of, I wouldn't want to get a violin every morning, but if I know there's a piano in a certain place I can just go to.
I think I would learn to glide really well, like dance glide, like the sidestep.
Okay.
I think I'd get really, really good at that.
Like
I think that's what I've done.
Crip walking, like
Not crip walking. I mean, I'm sure.
You can do the slick back.
No, like picture what Usher does all the time. You know that thing?
sure.
Okay, so just in place and kind of
just
jerking around.
I'd say that's the most elaborate skill, and I would only have it for this reason. Oh, I'm hanging out with you guys at a wedding, or I'm drinking, and I do that really well. I just want to be able to bust that.
This guy's
out.
awesome at parties.
I mean,
He's so good at gliding.
I'd like to say I'd eventually learn woodworking, but I mean, like I'm unemployed right now, and I haven't picked up any skills yet, and I'm like a month in, so
Yeah, we went through COVID too and tried that, and
we did a little whittling. We've talked about the whittling before, but I don't know. I have hobbies. They're podcasting and writing music and stuff, so
I have no hobbies. If this is a hobby, then yeah, I've got one. But
you got 2.
what's the other
The
one?
other podcast.
Oh,
Check
yeah,
out
so it's
Cult
the same
Classics
hobby, though.
Podcast.
Yeah, here. If we're live stretching, there's the logo. No, last week I had the Friday off from work, and in my head, now that I've got a family, I don't have any free time, and everybody knows that. That's what you sign up for, or that's part of signing up for it. So in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna have a Ferris Bueller's Day off. I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna do this. But then I realized I really just want Cameron's Day. I want to lay in bed and go, if Jordan was in Egypt. Like, I don't even want to sniff the sunlight. Of course I did, though, because I had to take him to daycare.
Yeah, I mean, that happens to me quite a bit where, like, it's more like the night before I'll be very optimistic and I'll set all these plans. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, it's like 2:30 in the morning and I'm still just watching TV, huh? So I'm going to wake up real late and none of that's
Gets late
happen.
quick these days.
Sure does.
It's getting longer. You know what the crux of that full day is? Like, it's going to take 15 minutes to get here and then 20 minutes to get there. And it's like, fuck, I'm not doing any of that.
Yeah. Do you know what? That was always disappointing too. Like, I used to love sick days or just skipping school. But all of a sudden, I would watch one movie and be like, oh, shit, there's like the majority of the day. I just watched a 2.5 hour movie. So,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, yeah, I am back into Band of Brothers, but I'll let you continue.
Oh, that was pretty much it. Just all of a sudden, I feel like I'd be waking up late, excited about that. Then after I was done watching like my first thing, I'd be like, oh, they're gonna be home soon, and like the day's over already. So
It's been a little while since we talked about it. What have you guys? I know this isn't a what you watch, and so to speak, but we can include some tidbits of that.
I
have gone down a World War II rabbit hole because they have that the Airman or whatever it's called on.
Yeah, I want to see that
on Apple TV. So I started that, but they're doing it to week. But I'm like, I gotta fix. So I rewatched Fury, which I know you guys like.
I love that movie. It honestly is a really good movie.
Whew, it's intense. It is just. It's one of those like nails. It's just intense the whole time. It's tough to watch.
I think men,
good movie,
especially go through like a World War II phase, like multiple times in their life, where it's like it takes up like a couple weeks, and then you kind of let it go, and then you're back like maybe a year and a half later.
It seems like there's some.
If I get
sort
the
of
shakes
like,
after Pearl Harbor, if I get the shakes after Band of Brothers, I'm gonna watch Pearl Harbor. So we can have a watch party if you want.
It does seem like there's a mid-aged father World War II segment that becomes a bigger part of your life. I don't know if you've reached that yet. I've definitely, as Mark was saying, been in and out of my World War II documentary segments, Band of Brothers, Saving Private Ryan, things of that nature.
Ooh, Saving Private Ryan, I might do as well.
Do it. It's great.
If I got it, if it lasts for, if symptoms last a couple more weeks, I'll probably do it. It's such a good movie.
You have a lot of great options.
Band of Brothers holds up though. You know what? Nobody wants to sit in for more than once every 5 years. Anything about World War I, it's just rough. You're like, I get it. You're in the
There's
trenches.
just not that. There's not that much, but
there isn't that much.
Well, that's what I was gonna say though. There's like an endless supply of like World War II in color and like World War II like in real time. Like there's so many documentaries. Are you delving in, or are you just sticking to movies and like major miniseries?
I'm sticking to movies because the real war is like, that's too.
Back in the day, like the History Channel,
I don't want to get anywhere close to the
Holocaust
because it's so sad.
World War One, just World War One, like any clips they had, it was always just so boring and like it just was dragging on. It's like, oh god.
Now though, like the documentaries when they do come out with their World War I and II, I feel like they understand. They're like, hey, this was our bread and butter. If we're gonna do it, let's give them something good they've never seen before.
When did that switch happen with the History Channel, where it was only really just like reels of like old war timey stuff to like almost like reality show stuff where it would be like
it's reality television is what it is.
It was sometime in like our high school, I'd say, time
almost right before we moved. to Chicago.
It was like when Pawn Stars started picking up, and then like American Pickers, and then all of their just like auction-y kind of gambly with money and old
guilty pleasure
old shit
of mine,
shows.
American Pickers.
Oh, I love all those shows. But then they started getting weird. Can't remember if it was Discovery or History that had Gold Rush, and then they just started having their own crazy, essentially reality shows of people doing blue collar jobs that were inexperienced.
Are they still doing Gold Rush? Is that still
and shit like that.
I just looked at Discovery Plus. Yeah, you remember the young kid Parker that was like actually successful down the road? Maybe not. He was like a 16-year-old kid. He was like the only one that was made money, and he's still just been doing it.
I was like 32.
Do you know, I've never really gotten into the Deadliest Catch or like Ice Road Truckers, but anytime I see a clip on like TikTok or Instagram or just something quick, I get sucked in. I think I'd enjoy like a full episode. Have you guys ever really delved into that stuff?
I've not gotten into that, but I've noticed in my algorithm there is a whole bunch of people showing me how bad the North Sea is, and I don't stop watching it at all. I'm like, why are we doing this? I hope somebody's benefit. Is that how I get my shrimp? I don't know, but go get it, guys. I don't know what's going up there, but good.
Yeah,
thanks
those
a
are
lot.
essentially the videos that are catching my interest. So, like, they have shows for it. They have like the whole series. They have years of
Cameron, I think I've just seen like a couple one-off episodes of like Ice Truckers or like a one-off.
It's always interesting.
Yeah, it is. It always is. The captain's always an asshole.
Being a fisherman seems like one of those perfect jobs. Outside of having to do the job, I put it up there with firefighter. The actual work seems awful, scary, dangerous. But the downtime,
chilly. A lot of chili, I imagine.
Well, I'm just more so like
there's chili crossover. I think it's more like cigarettes, drinking, day sleeping, and like hanging out with people.
Lot lizards, meth. Well, I mean, I think it's more about the big paycheck and then the months off. You get the season off. You know, you get a full salary, then you go to your other shitty job.
You guys should look up.
You know, it seems.
Sorry, you reminded me with the North Sea stuff. I guess the craziest or scariest sea to sail is between South America and Antarctica. It's called like the Drake's Passage or something. Look up like there's cruise ships that go
that sounds like
around that horn, and it's terrifying.
Oh, is this where they like break through ice? Is that what I'm thinking, or is that something else?
Choppy,
it's very similar
choppy
to like
water,
these huge waves.
The North Sea stuff.
You know, there was also
Drake's
an interesting show, and I gave up on it, but there was like that Gold Rush show that was, maybe it was Bering Sea, where they just scuba dive and suck up sand.
Oh, they did underwater stuff?
Yeah, that seemed way cooler and scarier.
To me, it seems like it's not worth the gold, guys.
I mean, they're only like, it seems like 10 to 20 feet under. It doesn't seem like they're far.
Doesn't that seem pretty far underwater to get to look for gold?
The metal detector TikToks, or like the river metal detecting. Have you seen that? These guys that throw like magnets off of just a small.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And they pull up just like
every once in a while a car with a body in it.
Sometimes there's a gun, but like most times like a bottle cap. And you're like, I watched 3 minutes of that for that result.
I could get into that. What's the big hole? Like an engagement ring? I mean, obviously we all want pirates' treasure.
It's jewelry,
but
for
it's
the most
never
part.
going to be that, right?
It never is. I got real sucked into the Curse of Oak Island for a year. That's if you don't know that, there's an island off of like Canada that like supposedly either the Knights Templar hid the Ark of the Covenant or like Christopher, somebody major hid something deep on that island and no one's been able to figure it out. But that show did nothing but find little trinkets of like gold and coins from over the years. And they never showed anything. It was just...
My biggest thing with any Knights Templar, lizard people, the deep... Like, nobody... Unless it's 10 people or less, nobody's keeping a secret. The word's getting out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or that thing is already long gone, I assume.
Yeah, you're going to get there and it's like... Yeah, it's Indiana Jones. The shit's going to come out. It's just going to be like moths.
I don't know when we'll do Indiana Jones for the cult classics, but my biggest animosity with
Indy,
every mummy movie, which I like, like that genre, the action adventure set in old timey archaeologist, essentially Indiana Jones, however you do it. Those doors just open so easy. They're all made of stone and stuff. I just say,
and what's the mechanism?
Guys.
The button he's pushing or the brick he's
the mechanics.
That's what we should be talking about. Don't even worry about the gold. Look at that door. How's that working after 2,000 years?
Yeah, some guy's still just back there pulling a rope. God,
one of the most atrocious ones might be National Treasure. Just like any of those structures, still moving intricate pieces of rotten wood.
Oh, their non-electrical flame lighting just system like works still.
Any torch that they always pick up, and they're like, "Oh, this lights right away."
I want to be in a torch situation, but in most recent memory, the only people I see with torches are those khaki guys that say like the Jews won't replace us.
Yeah,
they are tiki torches, though. They're not like cool torches, so that's fun. And I don't want to be with those guys.
I don't think I want to be in a torch situation. I don't
know,
like stalactites and stalagmites.
Well, I have nothing against cave systems. I fear though the flames licking my bangs, catching the rest of my hair, and then
what about spiders, Cameron?
I'm not big on spiders either. Yeah, I guess that's another fear. Snakes has a lot of webs.
I think there's worse things in cave than spiders, right?
Mountain lions,
a grotto.
Monsters? You talking about monsters?
I only want to go to Run Grotto. It seems like it's come and gone in society, and I really want to. I mean,
the
raise your
Playboy
hand if as a
Mansion
kid.
grotto?
Yeah, when you were a
what
kid,
you're talking
didn't you?
about?
Read,
Grotto.
yeah, that's the only grotto.
I mean, when you say the grotto, I mean it's the only one I know by that title.
Yeah,
I don't know.
when I
any-
was
tons
a
of
kid,
grottos.
when I was like a 12-year-old or something, I'm like, God, that's got to be the best place on earth.
you know.
Just boobies everywhere and stuff.
Yeah. Well.
It's just a cave hot tub.
Yeah.
You know,
Just a
I
cave
do
hot
like
tub.
the idea of a cave hot tub, though. Maybe
Yeah.
without like less
Maybe behind
semen
a
in the water
waterfall.
and like
A grotto.
yeah, just a nice grotto. You know, when
I
do
mean,
you
the
ever,
allure to me.
would you know that word if not for the grotto?
I
No,
think so.
no. When you look in the dictionary and you see grotto, it says "see Playboy Mansion."
It just says sex
you know
hot
what I mean?
tub.
Like it.
So there is one off like somewhere in the Mediterranean, Greece, Croatia, somewhere like that, where the opening only opens up like with a certain tide, and then tourists, these guides will take you into this underwater cove, and the water is
you
like
swim
lit
in it?
up and it's beautiful. But that gives me claustrophobia. Like
Yeah,
imagine the water just rising.
you get
can't
trapped in
out
there.
of
You got a Peter Pan tiger lily or that soccer team situation. You don't want that.
When I get in situations like that and I'm a little worried, I'm like, I don't think like people probably rarely die there, so I'm like, I probably won't be the person that dies, and then you do it.
Could you ever like go into like let's say the French catacombs, something that maybe has more structure, but it's definitely like still an underground maze? Would you?
Yeah, I could definitely. I mean, like alone, I wouldn't, but on a guided tour, yeah, I could.
That's
do a
your
little
point,
time in
Jordan.
there.
Like it's not me. It's not gonna be me. This time.
Probably won't be me.
Yeah, but yeah.
And that's how we're at global warming, right? It's gonna be somebody, but it might not be.
That's
me,
every
you
time
know?
I get on a plane.
Oh yeah,
but now it's
except
even more
now
likely.
I'm actually. I've never been more scared of plane travel in my life. It seems like that infrastructure's on the way out. I'm gonna go back to the choo-choo, the locomotive guys, and it also seems like they're going off
Yeah, I
tracks.
was
at
about to say,
an
but
alarming
remember,
rate, too.
like 10 years ago, there were trains I feel like going off the tracks all the damn time because our infrastructure's falling apart.
I mean, we all got what was it? The
Bridges are next. Watch
was
out.
it what? Oh, bridges have been scary since Minnesota's collapse, and then you don't know what they're telling us. They're like, "Good luck." That's how every bridge is.
Yeah.
Don't even ask us about it. It's the least of our worries. So yeah, I'm pretty scared of travel now. Luckily for me, I spend a majority of my time at home.
Same.
Almost all of it now.
God, when we lived at Wicker Park in Chicago, though, there were a few bridges I remember walking under, and I'm like, oh, those
I
are
was
just
just gonna say that.
holes straight up to a major highway. I'm seeing tires and just.
I saw something recently, and I think it was in Chicago, just like an underpass on a city bridge. It used to be an old rail line, just being held together by a C clamp.
C clamp.
Yeah,
I
Like
think
in
their
a
only
couple
solution
places.
is C clamps and just like some putty that they just put up there.
Do the best. I don't know how good Chicago is at fixing stuff, but they're definitely good at essentially Happy Gilmoreing it with a metal crate. Just cover in the hole, and we'll take care of it when we get to
Oh,
it.
speaking of Chicago landmarks and news, have you guys been following the rat hole?
Oh yes, I have.
Jordan, if you didn't know, there's a hole in a sidewalk in Chicago that's in the outline of a rat, and people, it seems like maybe a rat laid and died in wet cement or something is what it looks like.
Like
But-
imagine a cartoon like Wile E. Coyote running through like one of those fake.
Yeah,
You see
it's
it?
like you ran through the wall.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
I'm
been
on the rat
garnering
hole.
a bunch of attention over the last like weeks and months.
I think it's like a memorial now. People
Yeah.
are laying flowers down.
yeah,
and
there's all
candy
kinds
and
of
treats.
stuff
People were filling it
Yeah.
with coins at one point. At one point, it got filled with cement, and then people tore out the cement to re-show the rat hole. It's just been a whole thing. I was just wondering if anyone else had been following.
That is so much better than I thought it was going to be. I thought you're like, there's this hole that's just rats keep coming
Yeah.
out. That's gross. So this is way better.
Rat hole.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this is
what
the
it
fun.
sounds
This is
like.
the fun rat
Rat
hole.
grotto.
Yeah, this is a good rat hole. This is like a comical rat hole.
Yeah, it's fun. That's all. That's all I had.
I like to think he
I've been
fell from
thinking-
like a really high height.
He got flat though. Yeah, he got,
Got flattened.
But the good thing is you could inflate him back up with like
They always do.
like a needle and a
Yeah,
pump.
those
hole.
Acme
so like
air pumps.
there's probably life back into him if he needs it.
Maybe it was a piano or an anvil that fell on his head.
You know what I've been thinking about as far as rodents go recently?
What?
We all just accept squirrels as a part of our life, and they're the wildest thing. I mean, you look out your window now, you might see just a squirrel doing the craziest shit. Most animals were like, not in my, you don't get to be here. But squirrels,
Oh, look at that.
Everywhere.
Oh, cute.
Yeah.
I got 2 thoughts on squirrel talk. Number one, it's funny that you say that. Our old drummer, apparently there are no squirrels native to Australia. So every time our old
Did he bring a squirrel to Australia?
Well, no, every time, like that episode of The Simpsons with the frog, every time he saw a squirrel, though, he would stop and go, squirrel, and just like look at it because it was like, it was fun to him,
Gotcha.
you know? So not for everybody, although they are pretty much globally. And number two, they are up to weird shit. We've been hearing this bird early in the morning, my wife and I, for the past like few months.
They're always fucking with birds and bird food, aren't they?
Well, no, when we were parking the car, we looked up and it turns out that like...
That's a shame on you type situation.
Well, it was a chirping squirrel up on like a light pole. Turns out that's the guy that's been making the bird calls in the morning.
They have the tendency to be rabid sometimes. They do.
Rabbit?
Yeah, because they're rodents.
Rabies.
They're no different. They're just a cuter rat. And I'll say... a much more acrobatic rat as well. They do some pretty wild shit.
Yeah, they make some jumps. Oh, do you know what's the most adorable rodent? Those like little sugar fly gliders or whatever. Have you seen those on TikTok ever?
Oh, yeah.
Those like little tiny
Like,
squirrels with
they're
those
too
big
fast
eyes.
for me.
they kind of look like chipmunky-ish.
Yeah, but with a built-in wingsuits. Those things are cool.
They fly everywhere, don't they?
I would accidentally kill that in my hand. They look so fragile, though.
I mean, you're definitely not getting your hand on one of those things.
I mean, not that I'm like...
There's some nimbly bimbly and gliding. Good luck.
Not anymore.
Good luck getting your hand on a squirrel. You know what scares me from Chicago? Rabbits don't get out of the way for you.
That's true. They're...
Because there's no natural predator or something, and they just fucking look at you.
Oh, there are here. We have so many coyotes out here.
Really? Coyotes?
Or fox, or what are the other wild little dogs?
Yeah, I think.
Coyotes.
ton of
Foxes, I've only seen one fox in my life. It was majestic and scary. I'm like, you ain't supposed to be here. But it turns out that's just where they inhabit. Maybe I was. I've seen a fox like 3 times.
I've heard a fox more than 3 times.
I assume it's a fox,
And what does it say? Tick, 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 tick,
And they
tick, tick,
scream
tick.
like
it's
women being murdered.
It sounds
It's
like a
not
lady
pleasant-
screaming for her life. Yeah,
It's actually.
Oh, I didn't know
it's
that.
a
I don't think
horrible
I've
sound.
actually heard. I've not heard.
it sounds like a.
Or Mark's just no hero. It's like, oh my god, another fox.
No, it's a death, blood curdling. You know, like death curl.
It's almost an unbelievable sound. Like it's not. To be
I didn't
believed.
think I didn't think I'd get there organically, but I thought about this as a topic. What do you think about silver foxes in particular? I think we're all. I think we're all
becoming
gonna have. I think we're all gonna have hair. Probably most of our life, right? It seems like 3 of us have gotten lucky with.
So
There's a good chance that we've got it. Maybe it'll thin, but we're gonna have some left by the time.
Yeah, I get the receding. Like
Yeah, mine's starting to
as it
recede.
goes.
everybody
still
got
pretty
full top in back, the main balding spot in the back. Everyone got full coverage there.
Haven't checked.
I'm good
in a
on the
while.
back for sure. I'm getting a little recession in my temples, which is sad and depressing. I understand that I've gotten more lucky than a lot of people our age, but whatever. My big question is, let's assume I'm at 70% of where I am now by the time I have a full head of white hair.
Okay.
Is that enough to make me a silver fox, or am I still just lacking because you still have to be a fox when you don't have silver hair? It's like, do you just get to be one if you have a full head of gray hair, or do you still have to be attractive? Because I think that's going to be a
part of the
demerit against
definition. Part of the title is of the fox is being
half of it.
attractive. Yeah, so it's white hair and good looking. I believe if you don't, you're just called old.
me. Okay, so
I think
I'm just going to be.
I
old.
think you'll hear. I think you'll hear yourself called a silver fox. A couple times.
Yeah, but if it's like by my wife and my mom,
That's what I mean.
I guess my
Still
mom
counts.
would probably be dead. That doesn't
Still
count.
counts.
Like, and ironically, doesn't count.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm
cool.
probably the closest we're getting here. I would say I have like 20% white, 80% regular hair. No, that maybe be still kind of high.
No, you don't have
11% white.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know what. I know that sounds high too. You just have some gray hair.
It's
not
pretty
like that
speckled everywhere though throughout my head now and my facial hair. Mostly my chin.
much. Does it piss you
Are
off?
you gonna lean into it? Or are you gonna do like a hair club for men thing? You're gonna.
I'm far. No, for 2 reasons. One, no one wants to be that guy with like the super dark hair that looks weird.
Yeah.
2, also most importantly, upkeep. I'll just. It's too much. I can't. I don't want to do
a lot of
anything.
maintenance.
Yeah. You're gonna see a lot of weird growing out. Like I'm half like gray and then like a weird line where it's just jet black.
Like Jay Leno.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of had a long process where it stayed black for a while in a certain area. I think mine's gonna be whenever it starts to happen, it's gonna go like real quick.
It's gonna happen.
Like I got scared.
I was about to say, like you see something terrifying.
It specifically looked into the lights. Like you don't look into the lights, like that type of situation.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that's best case
like
scenario. Maybe you have gainful employment. You're loved. You're busy. You're really busy around the holidays, which isn't great. Would you take it?
Oh, you mean being Santa?
Would you become Santa?
No.
Like a mall Santa, or
no,
like take on
I'm
the role.
saying
Like
you are
like the Santa
would you
Claus.
Scott Calvin it and become the Santa Claus? Is it though? You only really work like it seems like 2 months a year, November, December, and then your elves.
Yeah, but
else.
you have to relocate to the North Pole.
Yeah,
quit your family. It's like would you become the Men in Black?
Quit your family. It's one of the stipulations.
Is it worth it if you're tough enough?
Hold up. One of the stipulations in the later movies is that he has to get married. Can I just already be buried and then relocate my family to the North Pole? Wouldn't that just be an option?
I mean, I would assume
tear the family apart.
Yeah, then no. So if this just would have gone to a not broken family, it just would have been a great job opportunity.
I don't think the job's awesome though.
You think you're?
I think it sucks.
I think you're.
You one night a year you fly around the world with magic, delivering
Cameron,
hope and,
that's an awesome night, but the other nights suck.
Do they? I mean, you're not. What do you have to do?
How
much does Santa
the
get
biggest
paid?
night of delivering operations known to man.
Yeah, but that's why you
deal with what you have to learn elf culture, whatever aspect or like depiction of elves.
As long as it's the same language, it won't be too crazy. I'm
guessing you get magic their language, but still, it's like
I never even thought about that.
You're not living your life. You're living Santa's.
The North Pole's
life.
HR has got to be a nightmare. I mean.
Or
I'm pretty sure it's closer to Willy Wonka's HR. It's like, hey, shut that elf up and get him.
Yeah, I was about to say, or it's just the opposite, and it's a terrible work environment. But a great.
For the elves, I don't think it's bad for Santa.
No, I think it's great for ownership. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. That's pretty tight.
I think one aspect of being Santa would be like, oh, I got to talk to animals, and that's pretty cool.
Do you?
I got to hang out with I think they hang out with like polar bears and deer quite a bit more than you and I
mean,
do.
He has reindeer on the team. The claymations would make me believe he's at least friends with squirrels and rabbits and things.
More.
I think part of the North Pole is claymation. Like you kind of go into that world.
That would, I think, eventually drive me crazy a little bit. I'd lose a little bit of grip. I maybe would if I slipped into this magical position. Haven't lived a life of magic. Might have a psychotic break at some point.
I might just live up there all year long. I don't know what their elf currency is.
I think you have to.
Don't want to offend.
I think you have to live
I think it's kind of like this, though. I've often wondered, in a similar way, would it be pick a movie like this, The Sandlot? I love that movie. It's a big part of our childhood. But the people that were in The Sandlot don't get to experience it like that. So once you are Santa, do you get to experience Christmas in the same way? No, it's a work night.
No, you have a new. Right. You're not telling me that the Clauses don't have like a week before or after Christmas a big Christmas celebration. You know what I mean? Where they do it up.
I bet they're not celebrating Christmas. I bet they're binging whatever they binge. Probably not milk and cookies.
Okay. Dark take on the North Pole.
Polar Express leads me to believe that
I just think it's a tough job.
I think
I have a little powwow, little Whoville powwow.
Yeah, but Santa's like Gatsby in this situation. He doesn't get to partake with the elves that put in the hard work. He's got to sit up and hang out with his family.
No, but you point that out there. I don't think he's doing a lot of the work either, other than that one night a year, and also I guess deciding who's naughty or nice. But
that's a long list. That's a lot of people.
Daunting. I mean, if that's my day to day, I'm just checking yes and no's though. Like I can listen to podcasts and do that.
The only thing that makes me think that it would be a good time is non-work Santa is often depicted as I'm just on the beach kicking. He seems like John Daly, as close to like John Daly as in the off season. Yeah. It's like I'm just ripping cigs, and
shirtless,
hanging out.
That's what I'm saying. You have a lot of downtime. It's like being a deep sea fisherman without a lot of the danger. Well, any of the danger.
Cameron,
I don't think it's like
if you start podcasting during Santa's job, the naughty or nice list, you're going to let a naughty slip through the cracks. A couple of them.
Yeah,
and that's not good for
culture. I made mistakes in my prior job for similar reasons, and that's just the age we live in now. But
do you know what a big glaring part of my naughty and nice list would be?
What?
Yes, on paper they're nice, but they're still really annoying, and that's a little naughty. So you're fucking.
You're still giving out coal.
Somebody that's too nice. No, I'm just giving them something they don't like. See how nice they really are when they say, "Mom, Dad, you ruined my Christmas." It's like, you're on the fucking. I don't believe somebody that says it's too. Like, I don't buy.
Where are we getting the coal from? Where are the elves getting the coal from?
The mines. They're also getting that too, Mark.
Yeah.
Do you think was there ever a
Those
year
are
you
dwarves.
think you would have been on the naughty list? Were you ever a bad enough kid that you should not have deserved?
Probably. You always shape up a couple weeks before.
Yeah, that's the secret. That's what
you just got to say a couple of Hail Marys and that's about it.
I didn't think I did anything really to not be naughty. I mean, I was annoying. I would be on the annoying list. Probably,
somewhere in that middle school range, I was a little shit, and
that'd be a nice addition to the list. Maybe an A, annoying.
Yeah, because
it's kind of in between.
Asshole. Yeah,
off and on.
Just give those kids like kind of what they wanted, but a worse off-brand version of it.
Yeah, exactly. The Wish.com version of the Turbo Man.
Mark, a nice thing for you, since you just have one sibling, like your selfishness really only affected one person, but mine had such a ripple effect on everybody else. So that I regret as an adult. Now I probably wasn't as chill as I should have been. Got to blame the parents on that one. It wasn't my fault. Nurture, nature, whichever you want.
Okay, question to you. Would you take any other holiday? Like, could you become the Easter Bunny for one night? It's a full salary. Let's say it's $50,000 a year.
What does he do? I thought he was
delivers.
Just I don't know if
the
he has
Easter
to
Bunny,
show
I
up
believe,
anywhere.
does nothing.
Delivers candy or hides eggs, I think, is his lore.
He hides a bunch
isn't
of
he?
eggs, doesn't he?
And he brings you your
You know what's
basket.
nice about being the Easter Bunny?
No, I think I was always under the impression that the parents brought the basket. I never actually thought that the Easter Bunny was
Okay, possible.
He was involved somehow, right?
Possible job requirements. Hiding eggs around the house.
He's involved
Providing a basket of candy and fake grass.
Well, that's another thing.
And if you're rich,
the Easter
giving
Bunny's
presents.
got less clear-cut rules.
less money,
Nobody
less
knows what he
capital
does.
too.
But here's the big thing. Christmas has become so commercial. It is a Christian holiday by technicality, but it's crossed over to so many people. It's like a Western holiday, right? Especially the vacation structure. So Santa has got to go to a lot more houses that, don't believe in Christianity or whatever the religion is. Nobody that's not Christian and real Christian, whatever your denomination is celebrating Easter.
I'm from Korea and I really love Peeps. And because of that, there's one time a year where I go crazy and it's Easter. So I've gotten into Easter.
Yeah, but that's probably one of like 4 people in Korea, unless, I don't know, are Koreans Christian? Maybe there's
I'm
a lot
sure
of
there's,
that
in
could be
every
ignorant by me.
nation a large. Yeah, maybe I should have thought of a different.
Tooth Fairy might be fun. Or fucking
That's
Phil.
all year round.
I think that's a
Fucking
weird
Phil.
fetishy
See,
thing.
I was saying, I was saying $50K full benefits, and just
Kind of
one
into
time
it.
a year you turn into a rabbit and you have to make a bunch of deliveries.
Oh, you're going to be like a full life rabbit?
Yeah, you're gonna transform.
That's a little
You're gonna
fun.
transform.
You're big though.
But
You're standing
like
on
Yeah,
two.
yeah, like
it's
my
magic,
height,
but like
rabbits.
time will move slow, so you can get to every house. But you're gonna live every minute of all of your deliveries that time of year.
Fuck. That's. I mean, that's.
But then you have the rest of the year off. You just do that one night of deliveries.
And hear me out, if we're comparing Easter Bunny to Santa, you also get to have Christmas. You
That's
get
true.
to live the magic, not work the magic.
That's
What's
true.
the movie where they have that scene where they're all like meeting with it?
I feel like it's been depicted in a couple of things. I know for sure the last Santa Claus, or like the third one, has a little bit of that going on.
I like
But
when
I
they
think
do
there's
that.
a movie with the Rock, right, where he's the Tooth Fairy or
I
something.
believe it's
Oh,
called
maybe.
the Tooth Fairy.
Oh, that's Vin
Is
Diesel.
that it? I
maybe.
could be wrong.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, yeah, I think you're right. It might be
might
Vin
be Vinny.
Diesel.
I call
Either
him
way,
Vinny.
Santa looks like the head honcho, right? He's kind of
Well,
in charge of the
He doesn't show
St.
up to the
Patty's.
meetings
St.
because he
Like,
doesn't have to.
As far
what
as
is St. Patty's?
Ooh,
Is it
is
just
there a St. Patty's one? Because that's not real work. You get to be a leprechaun on that
you
one.
have to
Yeah.
show up to
You
bars
just-
across Boston, Chicago, and other major cities with those bands that come in with the bagpipes.
That's the one to do if you had to work a day.
that you're just dressed up. That's just an actual. They
Yeah.
hired you.
It's just a person. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I guess that one's not too bad. That one doesn't pay full year's salary health benefits though. That's
This may be an ignorant question, but there's no mascot of Halloween in any way, right? There's nobody out there doing Halloween.
Jack,
Saywin,
pumpkin.
Samhain. Kind of.
Oh, just
If
say
you want to get like pagan with it, yeah, there is.
I think I speak for Mark and me that,
jack-o'-lantern?
we do want to get pagan.
I believe, kind of now like a jackal.
Oh, is it David S. Pumpkins? Is that
Yeah.
is that our guy?
Commercially now, kind of, yeah. He's becoming the Halloween mascot.
That really became a whole big thing.
Might just be
surprising.
Jack
It's funny.
Skellington.
It's very funny.
Yeah.
Be Cupid. You're just a baby.
Ooh, Cupid ain't a bad
Just a
one.
little angel in a toga, and you're in
And
a
I think you
cloud
kind of get to
diaper.
pick and choose like who you want to like shoot the arrow at and to make them fall in love.
It's a lot of-
There's not really
Yeah, and it's
much involved.
And I've seen, enough TV and movies that it seems like you can make mischievous, like kind of dickish moves too.
If I
Yeah,
was Cupid,
yes, you
and
can.
it seems like this is the most romance, maybe isn't the right word, but interspecies friendships, like a horse is a friend with a cat. Love
Okay.
those.
Oh, okay. I didn't know where that was going.
I'm saying that'd be my Cupid work. It's like, oh, look at that. That lion's not going to eat that chipmunk. They're friends, but he's going to eat like the chipmunk's family. Like they're not friends.
I've gotten suckered
It's not
into a
all
lot of those
copacetic.
videos. And there's a TV show about the same thing that I think it's just called Unlikely Friends.
No matter what other magical realm of mascot or head honcho like Santa, he's got the hardest job bar none, and he doesn't get to celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. Trying to think. President's Day, I'm just the ghost of Abraham Lincoln, and I get to come back on Earth for one day.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, that seems awful because what's going on when you're not a ghost? Where are you at then?
You're in the grave.
I don't know what the spirit of Arbor Day is, but it's screaming that we're losing the rainforest at alarming rates, so that doesn't seem like a fun one to be.
I
Thanksgiving.
think what I've come to the conclusion is we need a.
They get slaughtered. I don't know if I want to be the Thanksgiving turkey.
Oh no,
Maybe
you'd
you're
be
just a
the
pilgrim.
pardon turkey.
Or you could be a pilgrim or just a Native American.
None of those have their like responsibilities are bar none. They don't have to do shit.
Survive.
Again, you're just getting
and
drawn out of a hat
whatever.
like jury duty. You're just the Thanksgiving pilgrim this year. Live your life this day how you normally would. It's like seeing the
working-
Amish at like a fairway.
Working Thanksgiving wouldn't be that worst, but I think the best holiday to work would be St. Patty's Day for the reason you get to
Just drink.
be drunk. And you're not missing out on any like family bonding time. No family gets together for St. Patty's Day.
I actually
And
have
if they
been
do, they
invited to
just-
a family St. Patrick's Day celebration that happens every year.
Do they just get drunk though?
Yeah, they go to a parade, they come back, they
Yeah,
have food, and they
then that's
continue to
fine.
drink. Yeah, that's pretty
Are
much
they
it.
celebrating heritage or is it like us celebrating Cinco de Mayo?
They're very Irish, but it's like them celebrating
I
Cinco
guess
de
you guys
Mayo.
are part Mexican.
Yeah, but we're not enough to make Cinco de Mayo like.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah.
I'm enough now through family to join other people's celebrations, though.
If you got to pull out your 23andMe, it'd be like, oh. I mean, but we're Mexican enough. We're just not culturally, visibly looking Mexican.
You're not
Speak
putting it
Spanish.
on like your census when you fill it out.
I let it rip with the census. Do what you want.
I got a couple news stories for you. And in
The census is confusing because, sorry, just one thing. They say, are you like Caucasian, but not Hispanic?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, no, I guess technically I'm not that. And then they're like, are you Hispanic? Like 100%? I'm like, well, no, I'm not that either.
Explain
So-
in detail.
I just checked. Yes. I've had a lot of stories of world records, and I have one here for you. We might want to look into this about the Eiffel Tower sculpture was denied a world record over a technicality. So we are going to have to look carefully at some of the rules. This is a French man who spent 8 years building a 23.6-foot model of the Eiffel Tower for matchsticks. But when he applied to the Guinness World Record, they rejected on the grounds that the matches he used weren't regulation. So he started with just like, it had to be store-bought, commercial available matchsticks, but he ended up getting a sponsorship through a match company that was sending him like headless matchsticks to build out
I was
of.
about to say, like, sorry, Pierre, we got to burn this down.
Oh, that's how you want to go about it, though. No, so I guess essentially his weren't flammable. They were just the sticks.
Stick.
Yeah,
So why just not use toothpicks or something?
Yeah, or just like look into the rules if you're going to spend like, what did it say, 8 years doing this? Yeah.
23 feet. Now, that's not incredibly high.
No, but like, where are you putting that in your house?
Yeah, you're not doing it in your house.
Where are
I
you
would
doing
assume.
this? Like, what
The
space?
foyer, I guess. Some with tall.
Yeah, 23 feet is pretty
You're
fucking
paying
high.
for a
Like,
space.
For a
It'd have
matchstick,
to
yeah,
be-
I guess. But like in the grand scheme of things, like it's for a world record, I think you'd want it to be like 100 feet.
The record currently stands at 21.4 feet in 2009, so it would be quite a few feet bigger.
I think the issue is finding enough matchsticks to make that tall of a.
Which I think was his problem, which is why he tried to solve it with like getting a sponsorship with a company, but they have to be commercially available matchsticks, and because you cannot buy the headless ones anywhere in large quantity.
I would love if our podcast could get a sponsorship and we just get swag of something.
That kind of sucks for him because like
a dildo company.
Sure.
It's almost like all these college kids getting like these NIL deals where they're making millions of dollars, like Caitlin Clark. But like Reggie Bush, when he was like a phenom running back, probably, I mean, maybe under the radar, got like a car or something. But
he got in trouble. He got his Heisman taken away because like they bought his. I mean, they
okay, so that's
they
a
did
bad
the
example.
same
But
under
like,
the
maybe
table.
even further back, like I'd be pissed if I was like, we didn't have that.
Oh yeah, like there's so many people that would have been, made $1 million or so, legally in their college careers, and they all messed up. I mean, it is what it is. Speaking of Caitlin Clark, that's what I'm following. But right before we were talking, I was watching the Iowa women's game versus Penn State. She's gonna break the all-time scoring record next game, probably
For Iowa or for the whole?
Oh no, for
NCAA
women's college basketball.
That's fucking amazing. It sucks that the men aren't that good. Because I think Penn State beat us last night or earlier today.
Today, yeah. We're definitely an off year, but I did think about this, and this won't interest anybody, but I'll say it because we're talking about it. This has been like the best 5 years in men and women's basketball. We had Luka Garza, we have Caitlin Clark, we had Keegan and Chris Murray. It's just been, we haven't had this much talent that we've been able to watch in a while. But that's boring. I can see Cameron already. He's quitting the podcast right now, so I won't. I won't go into
I'm reading
too much
ahead
detail.
for news stories. I'm not a sportsman. I'm sorry.
No, real quick, just we sort of derailed off the movies. You guys need to check, if you haven't checked out, Society of the Snow.
Oh, I've been meaning to.
Google
It's
it.
about
It's in Spanish, so you got to be ready for that, but it's fucking incredible.
the movie about the rugby team, the true story that crashed in the mountain and lived for like 2 months. There's also like an old movie based on the also a book, and it's called like Alive, maybe, or
it's with somebody. It's like with
I've been meaning
somebody
to watch.
more famous than these guys.
It might have been last podcast, but I just listened to a little mini series on it, so I have been meaning to check out all the movies. You like it though? It was good.
The cinematography is great. The acting is great. Like, and I always like a movie with like no-name actors, or at least like no-name American. Just like
I think it adds
makes
to the story.
Yeah.
You can get
The
involved more.
believability, if you don't know, you can, they can adapt a character a little
Which
better.
for the cult classic podcast, sometimes for recasting, I want to be like, just a no name. We don't need a star here.
Yeah.
It's better without it, but that doesn't make for good
They
content.
resorted to
so I'm like, I
cannibalism
don't know,
and, like,
Rachel McAdams.
Cannibalism and eating cigarettes and shit. Like, they had nothing.
I would not be the first to eat somebody, but once we crack that egg, I'll be like, hey,
you're gonna crack
toss me a little bit of that person.
Pass me a little bit of
Like
more.
once we've scratched that itch, I'm gonna eat some. I'm gonna feast with other people.
Mark, to answer your question earlier about what am I watching, a lot of anime. I've been trying out anime.
Really?
I'm an anime guy right now. Turns out I like superhero anime, but they're all kind of like dry,
Give me a good one.
sarcastic ones. This is on Hulu. It's called One Punch Man. His whole gimmick is like he's become the strongest superhero.
I believe it's gonna be one
Yeah, I
punch.
kinda get the-
man.
He's become the strongest superhero in the world, where anyone he punches will just like explode and die. So he's kind of just like bored and not putting his all into it. So it's just kind of like a funny half-assed superhero. That's a good one. I'm watching Hero Academia. It's about a group of kids going through like a hero high school to become the next superheroes.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Those are what I'm doing.
I probably won't go down the anime route because I don't like the look of the animation. I know that's ignorant, and I know the stories are really fun and amazing and creative. If I am gonna delve into something else, I've never really spent much time on like foreign films, specifically like the French New Wave. I know there's a lot there that I should delve into, like classic cinema from the 60s.
I mean,
and
if you
50s.
have
I might
Netflix,
do that sometime.
they have essentially become a foreign film archive now. So I mean, dive in and see what they
I
got.
do have Netflix.
I'm sure you could give.
Unfortunately, the sucky thing about with what I watch now, I have to watch it like you watch it in school, like in 20-minute segments or like an hour segment at the end of the night. It's a
I get
bummer.
that. I got kind of used to that when I was just watching movies while working through the podcast, and it's annoying, but it can be done.
Is
But after the night, I'm
anime, or is that for like casuals?
I mean, yeah, it is. It would be like
I still think it's
yeah, it is.
anime.
It's like
but it's definitely the mainstream
entry level,
yeah,
maybe just because
sure.
it is mainstream and a little more in the zeitgeist. But
I always
What's the
enjoyed
big
watching
ones?
the show when I was a kid.
no, yeah, I mean, like there are things that
movie
are a
was
little
decent.
more like I don't know, like comical and Americanized, and just like
Yeah,
But a lot of these anime movies are like dramatic adult type.
yeah,
movies,
a lot of
right?
it is just like a dramatic story meant for adults. Like, actually, here's a fun one you guys might like. This is on Netflix. It's an American version of like anime, essentially. Netflix has acquired a bunch of properties like that, but it's called The Blue Eye Samurai. It's about a half American, half Japanese girl going through Japan trying to kill all the white people who are there who could potentially be her father and cursed her to be kind of looked down upon in society.
Oh, that spawned me. Sorry, I zoned out completely during that, but
It's fine. I think I got
it
marked a
did
little
spawn
bit.
me. Have you heard of this? It's
the
an FX
voices
show
always
that's
kind of
about
get me.
to come
That
out.
the really high girl voices sometimes.
Not-
They're not all like that.
Not all
but
of them have it. Like Blue Eye Samurai is just like really cool animation, but it's
Why do you get out of there?
It's an American-made American storytelling, kind of just
Okay.
through that, like stylistically.
I can get into it.
There's this new show coming to FX called Shogun. It's like a samurai show. I think I'm kind of jazzed. I'm gonna give it a go because I really like The Last Samurai, and I feel really guilty that it's a white hero movie. So I'm like, let's just take that out of there and just get into the culture because everybody likes samurai culture, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or at least the depiction of it. I'm not living a samurai culture like Jesus
You
Christ,
wouldn't.
what am I, psycho? No, not at all. Just don't have the discipline.
The
don't have the
swords
anything.
are cool though.
Yeah, who doesn't like that?
Yeah,
There was a moment
I'd
where
love that.
because my brother-in-law left his samurai sword at the house, I had one, and I felt very confident for like zombie apocalypse. But now I'm just down to my hatchet.
Yeah, I would feel very confident that I would cut off my own
Not as much
finger trying
reach
to
with
kill
the
a
hatchet.
zombie.
Yeah, no, you got to get in close. And Jordan, for you, I'm not so worried about cutting off a finger with anything other than a lightsaber.
Oh yeah, ain't nothing but problems.
Oh,
there.
this is
Lightsabers,
But
you want
they
to be all
depicted-
fancy with it, and then also, yeah, you're chopping.
then
lopping
I'm missing
off one
my
of your
thigh.
legs.
Yeah. Mark,
Don't come at me, but the depiction of what a lightsaber can and can't do, or what it will do to you, is wildly variated. Sometimes you disappear. Sometimes it cuts you like a sword. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it melts you like
it's-
a like a laser.
most
Yeah.
of the time it's a laser beam, hot molten lava. Oh, Mark, this is kind of more for you, but do you remember the Phantom Menace PlayStation 1 Star Wars game we used to play as kids?
Yeah. Didn't you have to face Darth Maul, or couldn't you be Darth Maul at one point?
Maybe. The whole point is it's on PlayStation Plus, and I'm going through that, and I am having a ball.
Send me a screenshot of the gameplay, because I do want to have a flashback to that.
You would
in
know
my
it if you
life.
saw it. Look out for that. I'm going to get my stream channel going up again soon, and I essentially will just be
Nice.
doing like nostalgia gaming, I assume. But want to know what's stopping me right now? A bunch of my appliances. I had a roommate who moved out a few months ago, and he had a lot of electronics, and I'm missing a million cords to things that seem to have just gotten jumbled into his stuff. So I just need to replace like the power source to like all my shit in here.
That's like an early on thing when you like live with like a few roommates. Like one roommate's got the TV, and then when he moves out, you're like, "Fuck, I don't have a TV."
Mm-hmm. Well, in this case, it was just we jumbled. It was during the Great Flood when my basement flooded. Everything just got thrown into one room and a pile of like cables and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
all just gone now.
Well, nice. Do you think we should call it? It's been about an hour. We could keep going.
Totally up to. Do you have anything worth
I
talking
only have
about?
one more news story for you, and it's about
let's hear
a
it.
woman who survived a trash compactor like she was Shredder. This is coming to us from AP News. As soon as I get rid of this advertisement.
Spoiler alert, everything comes from AP News. That's where everybody gets their news.
Crazy news. This is from Manchester, New Hampshire. A woman fell into a dumpster throwing out her.
Probably the cooler Manchester, right? If I had to say,
I've never been. I don't know.
never been,
I don't
never
know.
been. But I always when I'm
You've got
searching,
that or Manchester, England, but we're all talking from people that are from the Manchester, Iowa. And are they cooler?
Probably.
Yeah,
Who's to say? She was dumping trash in when she fell into the garbage bin. She was later rescued from the trash truck that had compacted the contents while she was inside. Luckily,
So she just got in a little corner?
Well, I don't know, because luckily neighbors heard her screams, and the trash compartment was equipped with a camera.
Oh, honey, it's just a fox.
Which is...
Yeah, that's what Mark and I would have said. Oh my God, another fox got in the trash
Which is
compactor.
horrifying, though, but good to know that they have cameras in the back of trash compactors.
I mean, I think
that's more for like the
now.
live leak CCTV footage.
Yeah, it's not for safety. It's for
well,
the
luckily
game.
in this case, the driver did spot the woman inside the truck, and he called 911. But by then, the driver had compacted the garbage thing 4 times with her inside of it.
He said, "Where the fuck isn't this thing going all the way?"
I don't know. I thought it got things pretty smashed.
Yeah.
They used a basket ladder to reach the top of the truck to lift her out. And by then, she was standing, talking, and yelling, but was not alert enough to answer questions. So it does seem like she was pretty hurt. It seems like she was just yelling and
Oh no, the trash!
Yeah.
I'm picturing
the shit out of
what's
me.
the 6th
I'm
Star Wars?
very badly burnt.
The Snow Star Wars.
the
Empire
Hoth.
Strikes Back.
I think it's Empire Strikes
Talking
Back.
about
at the
the planet
beginning,
of
right?
Hoth. What about that?
Yeah, Hoth. Don't
No,
they get stuck in the
is it
trash
Hoth?
compactor there?
That might be the first movie.
Oh, no, that's
when
the
they're on
first
the
one.
main ship.
That's New Hope.
Yeah, I believe so. Funny enough,
That
I did
sucked.
just watch them all in the background the other day. I've been very much into nostalgia stuff recently. I've just been watching the TV sitcom Wings in the background a lot while I've been working on things.
Really?
How's it hold up? I've thought about it. Does it hold
There's
up?
funny
or-
moments, but it's wholesome. I'll say that much. It's
Real
very
question
wholesome.
is, after watching, I mean, it's a network show from the 90s and late 80s. Does it make you want to put on a leather jacket again or invest in a new pilot type leather jacket?
It makes me want to become a pilot
Like the
and
fuzzy-
own a Cessna or other small plane.
Not quite an aviator one.
Not
but
an
like,
aviator.
you know, a little like close, but just not the fuzzy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
A little toned down. Because everybody agrees the aviator jacket looks awesome, but we would not in it.
Yeah, it's stolen valor.
Or I wouldn't. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I truly didn't know what that phrase was before like 3 months ago.
Really? Yeah, I mean, that's...
Yep. And it turns out I've been stealing. No, I'm just
Turns out you shouldn't wear...
I've been stealing. I didn't know people did that. And it's ridiculous. It's stupid.
Before we sign off for the night, the last news story I had here, and I'll just sum it up, was that
I'll take this one. Tracy Chapman. What an explosion. Did you see her at the Grammys? Yeah.
Yeah, the Grammys.
oh yeah, the Grammys have it.
Luke Holmes played with her, and I didn't even know I barely knew he read because I don't listen to country.
That's how, like, that song... Yeah, that song blew up again because of
him, right?
Yeah.
But I like that he brought her out there. And
is cool.
Mark, I know Cameron's answer. I'm pretty sure I know your answer. So because of that, I've been listening to the Tracy Chapman version a lot, right? Because I'm like, I like that song. Mark, when you get a song stuck in your head, is it earworm and you got to play it till it's dead? Play it like 100 times, or can you set it down, like listen to it, set it down, and come back at a later date?
I really try not to burn it out, and if I'm with people, Cameron, I'm not gonna make them listen to it as well. I know. Are you guys both? You guys are just burn it to the ground.
The only way to get it out is to burn it. You got to.
See, I don't want it out necessarily.
I've seen many times.
You're
on
never gonna listen to that
TikTok
song
and
again.
Other pop-ups.
No, but like I gotta listen to. If I got a song stuck in my head, a catchy one, it's getting played.
Start the
for
second
a
verse
while.
for me.
I couldn't
We
start
got
the
a fa-
first
I was
verse.
just saying, but it starts with "We got
I
that."
didn't fucking know the
You
words.
listened to it 1,000
But if it was
times.
playing
You
right
can't
now,
fuck it.
I would hum along with it.
I guess Taylor Swift. You hear all that drama? She like snubbed Celine Dion. Like she hugged everybody on stage and then like didn't even look at Celine Dion or something. I don't know.
I'm
I don't-
not
I
here
think
to
it's
defend
bullshit, but-
Taylor Swift, but we can all agree Celine Dion's a wild card. I would be scared to get like within 5 feet of her.
She has stiff person syndrome.
She's a
now.
crazy
Yeah.
lady.
True.
Yeah, she is a crazy lady.
Well, now she's losing control of her body. She's like less at least.
Oh no! So I'm sorry about that.
Sorry about that, Celine.
I was driving the other day, and My Heart Will Go On came on, and normally I skip, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna lean into it.
Shed a
And I
single
really enjoyed my
tear.
experience.
Remember the days of just
Just
like
one.
Good
TRL?
songs.
You would just wake up,
It's
you'd
a
get ready
banger.
for school, and that would just play like 2 times maybe on your way. You know.
It's all coming back
Well-
to me. That's that might top.
That's about. So I think I have a Mandela effect. Is there a chance that both her and Meatloaf sang the same songs their whole career, or am I just making?
Yeah, I think
that
they
up?
might have a few shared.
Are they interchangeable for the same big ballads that I've
yeah.
been? Tell me they're not.
I mean, I think when you're not a songwriter yourself necessarily, and you do a lot of just like songs are written for you, you got a lot of covers, you know.
No, I don't even mean that. I feel like I'm like, who sings this? Celine Dion or Meatloaf?
Well, I know he has Bad Out of Hell, and I would do that for sure.
I could definitely hear Meatloaf singing that song. Maybe a couple of them.
Yeah, maybe they do. Are we living in... Oh, I thought about this. Oh, no, never mind. It was just going to be, are we in a simulation type situation?
Well, on that note...
I'm just going to go down there.
That sounds like a good time to call it. Thanks for checking out the Urban Hermit podcast and hanging out with us. If you like what you heard...
it was this question. Just real quickly. We're probably in a simulation, and if we are, whatever. Do all simulations just kind of run a similar course that we're into? It's like, oh, the Earth is getting bad. Oh, war, hunger, fight, and then that's just how they all end. Or are we in our little unique one?
Hard to say. There's the episode of Rick and Morty where they just keep going to each other's mini-verse and finding out it's the same. So who's to say? Probably.
It's probably that's what I would say.
Leaving the audience with that thought.
Yeah. Everybody think about that.
You think about it.
You guys seen Saltburn?
No, Jesus.
No, but I hear there's a dick in it. So
just kidding. No, just kidding.
If you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate and review. Check out the whole Majestic Jam network out there. We have Cult Classics Podcast, I'm Not Crazy, and the Highwire Podcast. Until then, we'll check you on the next one. Bye.
Bye.